Okay. So, hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening to all of you. This is Upama Ahmed, welcoming you all in the second episode of the Climate Show organized by Postman 24. So, today we have a very special guest among us, and we are going to talk about climate change. Now, as you know, climate change is undoubtedly one of the most crucial problems we're facing in the current time. The planet's climate has constantly been changing over geological time with significant fluctuations of global average temperature. And to discuss this issue, we have a very expert professional among us. So, introducing our today's guest, Mr. Quamrul Chowdhury. Mr. Quamrul Chowdhury is a lead climate negotiator of 134 country G77 and previously served as a lead climate and sustainable development negotiator of the 48 least developed countries at UN and UNFCCC. Chair of UN Kyoto Protocol Joint Implementation Committee and member of UN Climate Adaptation Committee as a nominee of developing countries. Being a guru of environmental and sustainable development movement in Asia-Pacific region, Chowdhury is a lead author of Bangladesh National Environment Management Action Plan 1995, Bangladesh National Adaptation Program of Action 2005. He is also the editor of Bangladesh State of Environment Report 1998, 1999, 2000, and 2001. So without further ado, welcoming Mr. Quamrul Chowdhury among us today. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. How are you doing, sir? How is everything?
Fine.
Okay. So I'll be asking you our first question for today's session. So it would be really great if you can say from your experience something about global warming and what could actually happen in the coming decades.
In fact, IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, United Nations, they have already made it very clear that 1.5 degree temperature goal, which is the Paris Agreement global goal, is attainable, but right at this moment, it is at a risk. Because you have seen last couple of days in North America, in USA, in Canada, in Europe, there are heat waves and state after state are burned. So that is the magnitude of climatic abrupt changes occurring now, and also the frequency and intensity of drought, the hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, inundations are on the rise, and also sea level rise as predicted. It is more than as predicted. So those are the clear evidence from the scientific community, and they are warning us. But those warning bells, we are not giving a heed. And also in climate change negotiation, we are moving very slowly. We are not active. We are delaying. Whatever happened, say what was supposed to be done in 2010 are yet to be realized. What was promised for climate finance in 2009 in Copenhagen or in Cancun are yet to be realized, say $100 billion target per annum from 2020 is yet to be realized. Then also say the emission reduction, the Paris Agreement was supposed to be implemented from 2020, but now 2021, yet we are not nowhere near to the implementation, full and effective implementation of the Paris Agreement. We are yet to have the Paris Agreement rule books, Articles 6.2, Article 6.4, Article 6.8. These are yet to be determined, and we are hoping that it can be achieved in Glasgow. But those are supposed to be achieved in Katowice in 2018, 2019, but we couldn't deliver that. So these are the reality. We are not acting. We are not cutting back our emissions. And the richest countries are not obliging, are not realizing their historical commitments. So these are the crude realities. Amidst their crude realities, the people and vulnerable communities of the developing countries, especially the most vulnerable countries like Bangladesh, like Nepal, like Bhutan, Fiji, Samoa, Mozambique, Benin, Marshall Island, Kiribati, we are suffering, and billions of people are on the hook of climate change. We have to take them off the hook as fast as possible. But that first act are yet to be taken. The first step are yet to be taken. So the richest countries, the industrialized countries who have caused the historical emission of carbon dioxide, CO2 emissions, they should move fast. They should act now. They should have their net zero emissions targets set, not only in their say announcements, proclamations, but also in their parliaments, national parliaments. Those should be enacted so that they can realize those targets. But they are not having that in their national parliaments, placing those in their national parliaments. Say, rather Bangladesh parliament had the planetary boundaries. We have enacted that, but we have discussed that in our national parliament. But they are not in House of Lords, House of Commons, or say House of Representatives in US and House of Senate. They are not doing it. Rather, they are blocking. And many of their leaders don't believe in it. So these are the current situation. So we have to come out of that box situation and try to hammer on and try to move fast, try to protect this planet.
Right, exactly, sir. So, as you were saying, that we are kind of lagging behind in fulfilling our goals and also in the implementation of SDG regarding climate change as well. So, from that point, I would like to ask you the second question. Do you think whatever we are doing for tackling or handling this climate change or to fight climate change, is it actually enough? Is it enough from our side, or there are opportunities to do more, sir?
See, climate change is a trillions of dollar question. It is not a $1 billion question. It is not a $1 million question. It's a tens of trillions of dollars question. Because every year we are subsidizing $5 trillion for fossil fuel. So if we want to cut back CO2, we have to address this issue. We have to stop it. Stop this $5 trillion per annum pumping in to the process. Coal, oil and gas. We have to stop. We have to phase these out. If we don't phase those out, it is meaningless. It is like giving lip service to climate change. It's a mockery. So we are not doing enough. If we want to make business, we have to cut back that, say, CO2 at source. Say, subsidy of $5 trillion per annum have to be stopped fast. Then we have to also pump in a couple of trillions of dollars for adaptation, for mitigation, for net zero emission, for carbon pricing, and also capacity building and technology transfer. We need those to make a huge transition. Okay. because we need to have a invest in renewable energy, renewable sources, solar, wind, hydro, so on and so forth. And there should be so much on innovation, science and technology. We have to make technological advancements so that these are, say, popular one, these are low cost one. This can be applied by our community people in very many countries of the most vulnerable ones. But if
Right.
we don't provide them at a low cost, at a safer cost, then they are not going to take it. So we have to make that energy transition, renewable energy transition, quite fast.
Right. Exactly, sir. As you said, we are not doing much and we have a lot to do. So, with that being said, sir, from your experience, you have closely worked with the climate agencies in Bangladesh and you have uh, got a lot of experience in this sector. So, would you please tell us how is the coastal zone storm surge and sea level rise affecting Bangladesh particularly?
You have seen for census decades that even in 1970, by cyclone, that uh, say more than more than million people perished in 1970 cyclone, and also in 1990, 91, we had another cyclone. There also almost half a million people perished. But from then on, the storm surges and hurricanes of even higher magnitude hit Bangladesh coast. But because of our experience, our past experience, and also some of our defense mechanism, especially the Sundarbans, the mangrove forest, it had protected us like anything. Though it was heat, it was like the first order defense shield, natural shield against storm surges. So we had experienced lot of storm surges, uh, tornadoes, hurricanes, but and coastal inundations, coastal seabed rise, and that almost every year, 1 to 2% of our GDP in our coastal area uh, is lost in the sea, lost because of those hurricanes, those coastal inundation, saline intrusion. So that way we are losing every year almost 2% of our GDP in our coastal areas because of seabed rise, coastal inundation, and also uh, storm surges. That way we are experiencing it for decades. So this is so. What is the taste of climate change in our coastal area? It's saline. It tastes saline. That's what our rural people, our coastal people, they used to tell us. So that is the ground reality. They are on the hook of climate change. So we have to rescue them. Right? We have to take them off the hook. And that requires a lot of investment, lot of climate thinking, lot of, say, saline tolerant varieties of cultivators, rice, paddy, say, jute, and other vegetables who grow clothing, who grow in high water and saline waters. So that kind of say varieties we need to innovate. We need to have. So we need to invest in those technologies, those say seeds, but preserving those seeds, and also say that sort of cultivations. We need to follow. We need to invest. So that way we require lot of support, lot of finance, lot of investment, right? And also say every year we used to have say 20 to 25 days of say number 3 signal in our ocean, in our coastal belt. Nowadays, almost 50 days, 55 days, we have to raise the coastal signal number 3. What does it mean? Yeah. If signal number 3 is hoisted, we essentially are asking the fishermen to come back to the coast. Don't fish because it is risky. So they have to come back to the coast. But if they return back to the coast, then they had to say was all their investment for say 15 days, 20 days, because they take some food for fishing. But when they return, those are rotten. Those can't be used again. And their investment had to waste. And they used to take loan from money lenders at an exorbitant rate of interest. So who are going to repay those loans when they return back because of number 3 signals, because of climate change? These numbers are now very frequent, increasing. That means they are losing their livelihoods. They are losing their income. Our fishermen, our farmers, our community people. So livelihood is at risk. We see day in and day out. So these are the down really we have to face, right? And we need to also support them. We need to invest them. We need to have those in our budget making process. In our so we are every year we are incurring so much loss and damage, economic and non-economic losses and damages over and above adaptation and adverse effects
Exactly.
of climate change. So we need to hammer, we need to ask the global community to act fast, act swiftly, act now.
Right, exactly. Thank you so much for explaining it so beautifully and with so much details. So, unfortunately, definitely, we can understand that the coastal people are hard hit by the adversities of climate change. So, we also know that due to climate change, the different diseases are also on the rise. So, which brings us to the next question, which is like, how does climate change affect the infectious disease patterns? Would be great if you can address this to the audience.
Good. You have seen that for last couple of years in Bangladesh, dengue is a phenomenon which was not here, say 20 years back, 30 years back. There was no dengue. So malaria in some pockets we have experienced, and also mosquito bites in others. These diseases are on the rise, and also say vector-borne diseases are on the rise in these tropical areas, and also we are now see COVID-19. Some people also argue that because of climatic changes, because of say biodiversity loss, we are facing this kind of manage, this kind of diseases we are now confronted with. So I think the whole uh, say uh, landscape of diseases has changed. Take a twist and turn. So we need to also focus on the health dimension of climate change, adverse impact of climate change on health front, on adaptation front, on mitigation front, on loss and damage front. So we have, and also disaster front. This risk reduction, we need to address. We need to address dengue. We need to address vector-borne diseases. We need to address uh, malaria and other diseases, and also COVID situation, uh, right on it. Otherwise, we are going to face more, say, calamities, more, say, fatalities in the days ahead.
Right. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for your wonderful suggestions. And what sort of policy level change do you think that needs to be done to address this problem? And how do we actually implement it? And sir, we already all know that you have been involved in policy level regarding this climate change issue. So, would be great if you can address this thing. What sort of policy level change do we need, and how do we implement it?
First of all, we need to have proper planning with more reliable data, more reliable information, more reliable, say, analysis. That means we need to have a proper planning, proper analysis, proper projection, scenario building, policy research. We need to have update of Bangladesh climate change strategy and action plan 2008-2009. We have to update that, revise that. We need to also update the national adaptation. Uh, we need to say formulate our national adaptation plan. We have already prepared the roadmap for national adaptation plan 2015. Now we need to finish the national adaptation plan all over the country, so that we have a proper adaptation programs, and we can implement those programs. We can implement those policies. Then also we have to update. We are updating our national determined contribution, and then we have to implement that nationally determined contribution. Then also we need to also have our energy plan. We have to revise that, we have to update that, and also implement that. And also we have to finance that. Without finance, without budgetary, and also we need to have develop a number of programs so that we can access from Green Climate Fund, from Adaptation Fund, from Least Developed Country Fund, from Special Climate Change Fund, and also from our national PT, from our national budget. We need to also green finance. We have to opt for green finance. We need to make our energy transition. So for that, we need to also have climate finance. Our budgetary mechanism should have in a more holistic way. And also, we need to have our say disaster risk reduction, and also integrated with our biodiversity plan, with our land degradation plan, and also the other plans, Sendai framework, SDGs, is all SDG goals. Goal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13, 8, 9, so even 17, we have to have it also in the governance. structure we have to have. So all the SDGs relevant for say climate change, disaster, water, agriculture, consumption, production, uh, drinking water, energy, clean and green energy, and also equity, justice, poverty elimination, uh, food, nutrition, and also gender. So all those issues we have to cover in a holistic manner.
Right, exactly, and very rightly said. All the SDGs are interconnected, and definitely for the implementation of the SDGs, we need more funding, and that's where we need the policy level change, as Mr. Chaudhary was suggesting. So, sir, as we know, like the young community in Bangladesh are kind of impatient, and they most of the time they complain about things. Like they complain a lot, global warming is happening. They complain a lot about the climate, but they do not actually act. As you were saying, we need to act now. So, since we are towards the end of today's program, it would be great if you can have some suggestion for the young generation, the youth, what the young people can do to fight the climate change.
In fact, we have borrowed a lot from younger generation. Their carbon space we have covered. Our generation, even generation before us, they have covered most of our carbon footprints. So that way we are indebted to our younger generation. They are at the receiving end. It is not of their fault. Because of our forefathers and say forefathers of uh, generations in the industrialist countries, they have emitted too much and they have emitted 30 dozens and they have left to us a world which is not livable. So that's why the younger generation need to act now, but they are yet to prepare. We need to give them a lot of hammers, lot of investment, lot of finance, technology, capacity building, policy support, so that they can make quite easily without tipping effect those transitions. But we are not equipping them enough. Uh, we need to equip them enough. And the research countries had a role to play. They need to pump in lot of, say, climate finance, lot of climate investment, lot of green finance, lot of investment in technology and capacity building. That's how they can equip the generation to come, the younger generation. Then they can be successful to help protect this planet.
Right. Wonderfully said, sir. Thank you so much. And with that being said, we have reached the end of today's episode 2 of the Climate Show. At this point, I would like to thank the viewers for staying with us and definitely our honorable guest for his valuable time. Thank you so much, sir. We're really honored to have you with us and hope to have you in our future ventures as well.
Thank you.
All right. And as Mr. Quamrul Chowdhury was saying, that the young generation needs to understand this issue. They need to act now. They need to act fast. And if any of you who are watching this, you want to be a youth leader, you want to fight climate change, just do it now. Become a fighter of climate change now. Become a volunteer. Advocate for climate change, or go plant a tree yourself. So you need to act fast and you need to act now. With that note, I am ending today's session here. So, see you in the next episode. Till then, everyone, take care and stay safe. Thank you.